We got new practice clips that have dropped from Purdue basketball. Shout out to Boiler Ball, feeding the masses. That's what Boiler Ball's job is in September as we build excitement for this upcoming season. But there's quite a bit to sort through here. They put most of these or all of these to their Instagram. They put a few of these to their Twitter. So I think Jack Benter got his own post with a big poster dunk, which we'll talk about in a separate video. A lot of Purdue talk today. But the rest of these practice clips had moments from everybody. Fletcher Loyer with a nice drive through traffic and a finish. We had Antoine West knocking down a three off a kick from CJ Cox. A lot of Omer Meyer facilitating in these clips and getting out in transition and finishing one bucket on his own. So, what did you notice most? Let's talk through everything from here. The latest Purdue basketball summer highlights drop. What are your takeaways?
Am I wrong on this? It's a 4 second clip. I can't really see who's shooting it, but I'm 99% sure I have the right person that shot it. TKR3?
TKR3.
TKR3. I feel like that's a massive update. If TKR is just launching threes consistently, how hard is this team to stop?
Impossible would be the answer. Yeah.
Form is ugly, not gonna lie. Form
So,
is
yeah, it
not good.
appears the TKR clip was immediately preceded by an identical clip of Daniel Jacobson hitting the three. Now, Daniel Jacobson is a guy who, on paper, is a shooter. He's a 7'3" big that part of his game is he can step out and hit threes. He's done it at the prep level. So obviously, I don't know. It's still good to see because it's so rare that you would have someone so big making threes like Jacobson. But I do feel like, just context clues wise, doesn't feel like both of those plays happened in like a scrimmage setting where it's like 5-on-5, just roll the ball out, read the defense, make the right play. Feels like those two plays back to back were part of a drill in which Omer Meyer was tasked with play point, get downhill, kick out to the big man, and we're going to let our big shoot threes in this drill. I would love to know if we actually sat in the gym to watch that entire drill. What did TKR shoot from three? What did Daniel Jacobson shoot from three? I'm glad they both got one in. I would guess Jacobson shot better in the drill overall than TKR did, but nonetheless, it's good to see both of them do this. And I would just say, a reminder that pretty much all Division One basketball players are gonna be able to shoot threes in an empty gym with no defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so. I want to know what does Kentucky do? Splash zone?
Splash zone, correct.
Yeah, what was TKR's splash zone percentage on threes on Thursday's practice? Um, it's very clearly like a drill setting. The pass to Jacobson specifically, I'm not saying like it's a bad pass, but you could tell Omer's going like 60, maybe 70% speed. Like that wasn't like a full go video by any means, but I'll say this, maybe not for Jacobson, because like you said, he's kind of like classified as a shooter a little bit by the numbers. Every three TKR shoots is basically going to be like a drill setting, though,
Right.
unless he just starts knocking them down. And if he starts knocking them down, then he's probably not going to be shooting them anymore because like Braden and Omer are going to get to the basket at will. So I feel like even though it is definitely a drill setting for TKR, I think there's a ton of positives you can take away from it because like much like a Draymond Green, like every three Draymond shoots is basically like a drill. Like no one's within 50 feet of Draymond. Like people are sitting on the bench knowing that it's gonna miss. Like so, I feel like for TKR, it's a little bit more realistic than Daniel Jacobson.
Yeah, I was in the Purdue channel in our Discord, and I'll do a shameless plug real quick. If you're not in the Discord and you're a Purdue fan, what a time that it could be to join the Discord for you. This is gonna be an awesome season of Purdue basketball. We know that. Number one team in the country, and I've been in this Discord for a little over 2 years now. We had one year where Purdue made a run all the way to the national championship game, and it was really fun to be a Purdue fan in that Discord at that time. It was fun for me to interact with Purdue fans. Last year, a little less fun, especially as my Michigan Wolverines kind of resurged a little bit, and we had a little friendly rivalry going on in there. But I think there's a lot of old faces, even some people that were in the Discord a couple years ago who have made their way back. Like, I got to be in here for this year. I got to be surrounded by Purdue fans. So, shameless plug: join the Discord if you're a Purdue fan. I think you would love it, and try it out for a couple months leading into the season. If you don't like it, you could always cancel. Anyways, in the Discord yesterday, we were looking at these clips and talking through them, and someone posed the question to me: Who do you think shoots more threes, makes more threes this year? Trey Kaufman, Renner, Merez Johnson. Merez Johnson, Michigan, big now, came over from Illinois. Another guy did not shoot a three last season. It shouldn't be part of his game. But Merez has gone on record and be like, I wasn't allowed to do what I could do. And all summer, there's been clips of him kind of like this clip at TKR where he's standing alone in a corner, catch and shoot, make a three. He can shoot them. I would say this. I would bet the TKR and Merez have similar caliber shooting ability. I would bet that Merez is the one who takes more threes this year, just off this alone. TKR is so good as a post scorer. What the hell are we doing with him shooting threes? Like that, we want him in the paint at all times scoring, and we want everybody else spacing the floor for him. That's how this roster's built, I think. He'll do a little high post stuff, maybe a little ball in the hands passing when Oscar Clough's on the floor, but it's kind of the beauty of Daniel Jacobson. He can space the floor for TKR a little bit. Merez doesn't have that, to be clear. I'm not putting stock in Merez's shooting ability, but when Merez is on the floor, he's not going to be a post scorer. Michigan's not going to like give him the ball and get out of the way. So he's going to have to float to the perimeter a little bit in a way that I just don't think TKR will. They're going to use TKR in the paint as much as they did last year. So I would be surprised if it translates. But either way, in September, pretty good to see that he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pick and pop, right? Because
Yeah.
if everybody knows he's going to roll every time, it makes it harder. It makes it very easy to stop. So like a pick and pop, he hits 1 3, like honestly, like 1 3 a month or 1 3 a week. Like if he's doing anything from behind that 3 point line, it just opens things up so much. But like you said, 95% of what he's going to do is going to be from the post. Um, Merez, on the other hand, just feels like he just feels like he has something to prove. So even if Merez shoots like 22% from three this year, like he's gonna shoot them because he wants to show that he can shoot them versus TKR is shooting them every once in a while just to keep people honest.
Yeah, for sure. All right, this isn't a Merez conversation, of course, though. Sorry, Purdue fans, for making it all about me, as I always do. Let me run through a couple other moments from these clips that stood out to me and get your thoughts. Again, we're going to do the Jack Benter video separately from this because Jack Benter, Lord knows, deserves his own conversation. But Raleigh Burgess sighting. Hey, forgot you were on the team. Haven't seen Raleigh Burgess at all this summer. Now, he's been dealing with an injury. And I think he's kind of a forgotten piece. Remember, Raleigh Burgess in last year's disaster front court looked very promising. Like when he got spot minutes off the bench, it was like, let's give this kid a couple years. He might be something. So I think, you don't have a disaster front court this year. You have one of the best front courts in the country. I do think for that reason, it's going to be hard for Raleigh Burgess to really crack the rotation or make those strides forward. But it's good to see him just back involved because, as far as I know from practice and scrimmage stuff, he really hasn't participated really. So in this one, he puts the ball on the deck, kind of a catch and drive right by. And again, this is very clearly drill work. It's not 5-on-5, but an explosive finish up at the rim for Raleigh. So I don't know, any thoughts on your first sighting of Raleigh Burgess this summer?
Yeah, I mean this as respectfully as possible to Raleigh Burgess because I feel like he, like you said last year, in a situation where it didn't feel like anybody emerged at the center spot last year at times. He did. However, Jacobson's back. Oscar Clough is here. This was the first sighting. I thought it was a good sighting. I also think it might be our last Raleigh Burgess sighting until next year.
Maybe, which would be okay, I think. I'm gonna do a very, again, make it all about me, a very positive comp here. I would love to see the Mo Wagner trajectory for Raleigh Burgess, where if you remember, Mo Wagner barely played as a freshman. As a sophomore, showed like a few little spot splashes here and there, and then all of a sudden was one of the best bigs in the country as a junior. So I believe in him as a stretch big. This is not what I expect Raleigh Burgess to do a lot in games, put the ball on the deck and rise up and dunk on dudes. But at bare minimum, it looks like he's getting healthy again if he's able to rise and finish above the rim. Not a lot of Braden in these clips. If you go through this, he's playing in a few of these clips, but just kind of sorting through like what are the guards doing in the video they put out here. Fletcher Loyer putting the ball on the deck a lot. Fletcher Loyer kind of operating as his team's point guard a little bit, it looks like. Fletcher Loyer with a huge transition kick ahead to Omer Meyer in one of these clips. And then on the other one, you got CJ Cox kind of navigating ball screens. Antoine West hits a three. Jakari Harris even doing some stuff out on the perimeter. As I mentioned, most of the drill work that we finished with the big shooting threes, it was Omer Meyer running point in those drills. So I don't know. Maybe just a reminder here, there's a lot of guys involved in this Purdue backcourt that are not Braden Smith, and how Matt Painter uses each of them is going to be pretty interesting this year. Any thoughts on that sort of mix?
I think it's going to be very different for Braden this year, and I've said it a lot, and I'm never saying it from the standpoint of he's not going to be the best point guard in the country. I'm always saying it from the standpoint of I still think he's National Player of the Year favorite. The only reason I think he wouldn't win it is because there's so much talent around him potentially. But I think it's going to be different for him. And I think what you're seeing in practice with the different roles that you see in Omer play in some of these clips or that Fletch plays in some of these clips is them feeling out what can we do? That way we're not learning it on the fly. Kentucky under Calipari was like learning how to play basketball together on the fly. You can tell Paint doesn't want to do that. He knows Braden can have the ball in his hands and run pick and roll. So why not during a scrimmage? Let's take it out of his hands. Let's figure out what everybody else can do. Let's kind of learn what these guys' skill sets are, and let's begin gelling that with Braden right now. That way, once the season starts, it's not like a learning curve. It's not as big of a surprise, which is why, like, I think if you're a betting man the way I am, the way Purdue seems to be attacking practice, in the short clips that we get, of course, I love betting Purdue early in the season.
Yeah.
They are attacking practice as if it's a game, and they're going to be ready to go in November. It's not going to take them to January to be ready to go.
Yeah. Yep. I feel you there. Look, I am optimistic about CJ Cox in the long term. Jakari Harris, personally, I'm a little more down on. And even just in clips like this, you rarely see Jakari doing anything with the ball in his hands that looks comfortable. He's not really driving action when he dribbles. And I would just kind of note mentally the way I frame those guys. CJ Cox, I trust, is going to be an initiator for Purdue at some point. I don't think Jakari ever will. I think he's got to be more of that like off-ball 3-and-D type guy, which we've seen some guys have big success with at Purdue. We've also seen some guys flame out that were supposed to be pretty good there. So I don't know, kind of just mentally filing those away. In clips where we see Fletcher Loyer on the ball a lot, CJ Cox on the ball a lot, Omer Meyer on the ball a lot, never really see Jakari do any of that stuff. So I wonder how much he's capable of there. Fletcher looks good in these clips. I mean, don't get me wrong, the drive through traffic finish reverse layup is something we very rarely have seen from Fletcher Loyer in his career. And then I love the pass ahead to Omer. I mean, if Fletcher can initiate transition at all and let some other guys run, I think that's a blessing for Purdue. I would just like to note this for one quick moment. Uh, Matt Painter has been on record talking about number one offense, number one offense. That's what we need to be. There's been mass Twitter threads done about how if we just rebound a little better, our defense will take a 20 spot leap. I think Dusty May privately gave some quotes to Michigan students this week about Purdue's our biggest competition. And yeah, there's teams that want to win our league that are going to finish around top 30 defensively. The defense ain't doing anything in any of these clips. And it's clips. It's summer clip stuff. But like that very first highlight of like Fletcher Loyer catches on the wing and drives through traffic through Jack Benter and Liam Murphy, and like there's just zero resistance. Now again, it's not Purdue's starters. There will be some resistance when you put Purdue's five starters together on the floor, but I don't know that we've seen one defensive highlight this summer from Purdue, Dion.
I'm also not 100% sure there's going to be a lot of defensive resistance from the starters because my starting lineup, I'll tell you, does not have a ton of defensive resistance for Purdue. But what I think the best defense is sometimes is making the other team just take the ball out the basket, right? And you make the other team play half court. And I think, yeah, Purdue's defense isn't very good. Respectfully, Fletcher Loyer is probably not staying in front of nobody. I don't think Omer is staying in front of too many people. I think Daniel Jacobson's a better rim protector than Oscar Cluff's going to be. Um, Could go on and on. Braden is a a solid defender, but he that's not where Braden wows you. TKR same thing. That's not where TKR wows you per se. Although TKR is gonna have more ability to use his fouls this year. Like he doesn't have to be afraid of like staying out of foul trouble because they have so much depth at the big position. You could run a Jacobson Clough front court if you have to. Um, but the best defense is making another team play half court offense, especially against some of these Big Ten teams. Northwestern, Nebraska, some of these schools, like you will be able to shut them down just by making them play in the half court.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. We know their offense is probably going to be number one in the country, truly. Like, I don't even have any hesitation to say that. And you're going to win a bunch of games no matter how bad your defense is with that. But I don't know. Just filing that away. Like, Fletcher Loyer, 7 dribbles through traffic, reverse layup, 0 resistance. And we're like, great clip, Fletch. Like, yeah, that'll never happen in a game against any Division One basketball team, but it happens against Purdue's backups, I guess. So I don't know what we do with that. We did make it this far in this video without saying this. Arguably, my most important takeaway looks like Fletch got a cut.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
what type of cut do you think he got?
Well, at the end of that second clip, they zoom in on the back. It looks like he got like a almost like a half faded up into a 1.5, maybe a 2. I think he's going for a little taper in the back. I've never noticed that from my guy Fletch.
Fletch looks like he's trying to look a lot bigger, which I respect. The jokes have been made like, oh, Fletch gained X amount of weight this summer. He's doing things that make him look bigger. Like every time, I grow the beard out when I'm gaining weight, makes me look skinnier. Sometimes you got to get the cut. Now you look a little stronger. He's doing things that are like, yo, if you get the right angle, I gained 15 pounds of muscle this summer.
Sure. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, it's also either an Instagram filter or he might have frosted tips right now. I think I see a few little blonde highlights up top. So, hey, anyway, I don't mean to knock it, Fletch. I like the cut. I think it looks great. Also, I know a Sports Clips haircut when I see one. I've asked for the half into a 1.5 with a taper. Don't touch the top because I'm balding. I've asked for that for about 2 years, and this is right up Fletch's alley right now.
I was gonna say the frosted tips you see, Fletch and them are old enough. That might just be a couple grays, you know. And when you first start to get the grays, you get it in the right lighting. It looks like frosted tips, but that just might be a couple grays.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Nothing
Nothing
wrong.
wrong with that whatsoever. Shout out to Boiler Ball for keeping us entertained in the summer months. Let's go talk about Jack Benter's poster.